y'all, I'm Jamie and I'm the traveling dietitian. I hope y'all all had such a Merry Christmas and are looking forward to the new year. I know 2018 is kind of coming up to an end, but the van adventures are just getting started. So today I'm going to walk y'all through how I saved up enough money to fund a year of travel. I'm going to talk to y'all about some of the major expenses of building out the van in a little bit more detail, and then I'm going to walk y'all through what we're going to budget for every month that we're traveling. So let's go ahead and step inside. All right, y'all, so I want to start out by just saying I got some really kind messages on social media just saying how this is your dream to do something like this, whether it's build out a van or travel full time. And I just want to tell you guys, you can totally do it. I firmly believe that the hardest part about doing something like this is just making the decision that you want to do it. Because once you decide it's something you want to do, you're taking that dream and all you're doing is turning it into a to-do list. So I want to show you guys today how I turned my dream into a to-do list and some of the things that I had to do as far as savings and budget and everything like that to make it happen. So I ended up saving for a total of 16 months. And in those 16 months, I was able to save about $28,000, which averaged about 71% of my income. And so that also was me saving about $2,000 a month from my paycheck. So I want to walk y'all through how I was able to do that and some specifics that you could do to start saving yourself. So one of the first things that you can look at is your budget for your living expenses, because each month the money you pay for your mortgage or for your apartment, etc., that is one of your biggest monthly expenses. So the way that I cut that down pretty dramatically was living with roommates. So I actually lived with a total of 7 people for the past, 16 months, and it may sound a little bit crazy, but I was able to save so much money on my living expenses and got that down quite a bit. The next one is looking at overall any monthly expenses that you have. Is there anything that that's coming out of your paycheck right now just on a monthly basis that maybe you could eliminate? That's anything from having a gym membership, a Netflix account, any monthly subscription that you have that you could easily eliminate. A word about Netflix, right? So I do love Netflix, and I think a lot of us use it kind of religiously. But what I ended up doing is I would have Netflix for maybe a couple months at a time, and then I would turn off my account and then just turn it on kind of periodically. That way I was really being disciplined with my savings goals and still had Netflix, The next one is to cook your meals at home. So buying most of your groceries and cooking at home versus eating out a number of times per week can really save you a lot of money. I was able to spend between $30 and $40 per week on my groceries. And realistically, if I went to eat out 2 times, I would have doubled that budget just by eating out. So really sticking to a budget of buying that food and then preparing it in your own home can save you so much money. The next one is to really set that savings goal and stick to it. And one of the ways I was able to really do that pretty strictly is anytime I would get my paycheck, I would automatically take out the amount that I wanted to save from that paycheck and put it into my savings. That way I knew, okay, this is my whatever 2-week, maybe monthly budget that I have to stick to, and I really want to be mindful and make sure I stay within those numbers. And then that way, if I had to dip into my savings for anything for that month, then I saw it as I'm dipping into my savings, which really just made me think about my purchases a little bit more. And then kind of on that same note is to overall reevaluate your spending habits. Because like I said, when I have that tighter budget that I'm sticking to, anytime I'm thinking about buying something, I really think through it. Like, do I really need it, or etc. And honestly, I saw it as, you know what, I could make this purchase, or I could save that money and it could be X, Y, or Z while I'm on the road, or go into that long-term goal that I have. And then along those same lines, once I had that savings account and I started to see that money slowly add up, once it was something significant like $10,000 and I saw that in my savings account, it was just more motivation for me to keep going and stay strict with that budget, because it just feels really good and fulfilling to know that you're doing that yourself. So like I said, I was able to save about $28,000 in 16 months total, but the important thing to do is to look at your personal income, your lifestyle, your expenses, and see for you personally, what could you realistically save while still having a good, happy life, right? But adjust that time period or the amount you're going to be able to save and when according to you, because you can make this happen, but it may just look a little bit different than my experience and whoever else's experience. So now I want to walk y'all through a little bit more detail about the actual cost of the build out and the van. So I'm going to walk y'all through some of the major expenses. So for the installation, I did say in the first video that it was about $500. It ended up being about $425. The solar panels, which we got 3 solar panels, and those were $409 total. The battery bank was $366. The max air fan was $191. The cabinets in the kitchen were $159. Now we did get those damaged, so we got a little bit of a discount there, which was nice. The fridge was $158. So we went with an AC powered fridge, and if we did look at the DC powered fridges, and those were more about $1,000. So we saved a lot of money by going with the AC powered fridge. Now for the inverter for the fridge, that was about $140. Our full size mattress was $150. The water filter was $130. The solar controller was $117. The lumber for the table and the benches was about $100. The LED lights were $81, and then the sink was $70. So that's some of the big major expenses, but there were quite a few other little things that we had to purchase. I'm not going to list all of those things because I don't want to bore y'all with an hour-long video, but those little things include things like the paint for the walls, the stain, a lot of the tools we had to purchase to do some of this build out. It also included some of like the decor, like this basket back here, some fasteners, hardware, and that type of thing. We did save quite a bit of money by repurposing some things. So the wood that's on the front of the benches is actually some repurposed lumber that we had. Like I said in the first video, I did use my own nightstand or big cabinets that I had for under the bed storage as well. So for the van itself, that was about $4,000, and it did need some more work. So we ended up putting in about $950 just to get it running smoothly and everything like that. We did have to purchase 2 new front tires for $500. So the total cost for the van and the build out ended up being about $10,000. And $10,000, that's a lot of money and a pretty high ratio of my savings. Now, luckily, Dean and myself split the cost of the van. But if you're wanting to do this solo, which a lot of people do, that's not a barrier to you. All you have to do is see how much you want to put into the van, how much you want to have that budget for, and then account for that while you're saving. But you can absolutely do it. Again, it comes down to your income, your lifestyle, what you want to set as your savings goal, and then all you have to do is do it. So now you know how much I saved up and how much I put into the van and everything like that. So now I'm going to walk y'all through how much I'm anticipating that I'm spending on a monthly basis while living in the van. So we are planning for $2,000 for our total monthly budget, so about $1,000 per person. And we have that in 2 different categories, and those include our gas, groceries, eating out, campsites, fun, van maintenance, and then emergencies. So for gas, we're planning for about $350 per month on gas. And that was calculated using the current gas prices, and we kind of overestimated that because we know the prices are going to vary depending on the state and where we're at. That's going to give us about 2,000 miles per month on the current gas prices. And again, we overestimated that. We're not hoping that we're driving 2,000 miles in a month, but just in case. And then the next for groceries and eating out, I did separate those because since we're going to be going to so many cool places, I want to be able to try the local food, local flavor, and have the opportunity to try all those cool things out. So for groceries, we counted for $350 a month. So that gives us about an $85 a week budget. And the groceries, we did go ahead and include any laundry detergent, cleaning products, and etc., things like that. And then for eating out, our budget is $450 a month. For campsites, we did a lot, about $150 a month. We use iOverlander to help us find free camping, which we use most of the time, but we do want to stay in some cool state parks, and we just feel like that's going to happen along the way to have an expense for campsites, so we have that budget. And then for fun, it's about a For fun, it's a $400 a month budget, so $200 per person. And within that fun budget, that also includes our monthly Netflix subscription, which is a little bit less than $10, and then our Planet Fitness subscription, which is about $22. We went with a Planet Fitness monthly gym membership primarily just to use the showers because they are nationwide, and it was the cheapest and seemed like the most accessible one for us. The next is van maintenance. So we put aside $100 a month for van maintenance because inevitably something is going to happen on the road. Now what we do with the van maintenance fund, our budget there, is we roll it over each month. So if something major happens, we'll already have that money put aside. And then lastly is the emergency fund, of course, in case there's anything major that happens. But what we also use that for is if we go over in a certain area, we can go ahead and just dip into that amount that we already put aside. So again, we are planning for a total of $2,000 a month for 2 people on the road. And we're just starting out, so this can fluctuate depending on where we're at, but we're hoping it's going to be pretty accurate. But I will be sure to update you guys in the next couple of weeks and months and kind of let you know realistically what it looks like when we're on the road. But if you want to keep following along, you can subscribe to the channel, and that way you can just see the new videos kind of as everything's being updated. And you can also follow me on social media. So on Instagram, same title, I'm the Traveling Dietitian, or just Traveling Dietitian. And you can kind of see more of a day-to-day and kind of see what the heck is going on in the van. But I just want to tell you guys thank you so much for everything in the first video, and especially all of the comments that y'all left. It is so fun reading those comments and having the opportunity to respond and kind of get to know you guys who are doing the same thing. So if y'all have any questions, any comments y'all want to add, or any specifics about the van, I am more than happy to answer those. But again, thank you so much, and I hope y'all just continue to follow along the journey. Hey y'all, I'm Jamie and I'm the Traveling Dietitian. Okay. I'll look at, see you.